Hello and welcome to the City of Games. My name is Frank and today I'm going to be playing the solo mode of Emberleaf. Now before we start, just a couple of quick housekeeping things. Firstly, this will be a playthrough of the game. If you're just looking to see how to play the game, you're welcome to watch the how to play videos. And secondly, I'm going to be using a prototype. So whilst the rules will be the same, a few things may look different to the version you've got in front of you. But with that said, let's get to the table and let's get playing. So as you can see, everything is set up and we are playing as the blue player over here using the E deck. And over here we have set up our sister, which is going to be the solo player. Now, there are 5 difficulties in Emberleaf. There's easy, medium, hard, very hard, and ultimate. And I'm going to be playing on the hard difficulty. So the middle of the road, so to speak. The hard difficulty is definitely hard if you've not played the game before. And even if you've played it a few times, it is going to push you. I personally probably now play on a slightly harder difficulty. But I think that given we're recording this and I'm going to be commentating all my moves, I'm probably going to find it still a bit of a challenge. So we'll see how it goes. With the hard difficulty, we set out 4 favor cards for our sister and she's going to score these at the end of the game off what we've done. So she is going to get 2 points for every single war banner that we collect. And what we've got to do now is, before we take our first turn, is just assess what our strategy is going to be. So her getting 2 points per war banner means that maybe I don't want to do so much war banner stuff. Secondly, she's going to get 5 points per building type where I do not have at least 2 of them, which means that really, we want to build 2 of each building. Otherwise, she's going to score a fair few points, which means we want a diverse set of buildings. 10 points if we've got less than 15 or fewer than 15. So we probably are going to have to get a lot of buildings. So at the moment, we want lots of buildings, lots of different buildings, and we don't want too many war banners in theory. And then she's going to get 5 points per clearing where we do not have at least 1 rat. So we're going to want to make sure that we home as many rats as we can around the board. There are 6 clearings, we've only got 5, so she's definitely going to get 5 points for that. But maybe we can get at least 3 or 4 of those kind of ticked off to reduce those points. Because if we don't put any rats anywhere, then she's going to get 30 points, which is a huge amount. Finally, she's got the house building type revealed, which means she's going to get 5 points for every house. So we probably want to avoid building houses. With that said, I'm looking at the favor cards that we've got available to us right now. And we've got have 1 windmill that touches at least 2 windmills. That could be okay for us. Like, we do need to build some windmills anyway. They're not worth 5 points. And I can see that there's a windmill here, a windmill here. So maybe we can try and build off those. I mean, up here would be great because 1 windmill touching, then another windmill. We've got quite a lot of room. Have exactly 3 war banners. Now, that's the hard one because normally I would want to get more than 3, but she's going to get 2 points for each one we get. So maybe we're just going to take a few and we're going to really specifically target them, but I don't know just yet. Build all the buildings on your fellowship board. That is going to be a tough one. And this stage of the game, I don't know what our strategy is going to be enough to know. I mean, maybe we've got to do it like that would give us 1 of each building type and 2 markets. That does go a long way towards some of this. Have the most boat houses. So with these ones, when you have the solo player, what it means is that you've got to have more boat houses that have your villagers homed on them than boat houses that don't have a villager on. So that's not too bad. I mean, they're obviously free, so we'd have to probably claim some of those through the homing additional villagers, or we're going to have to build quite a few up. And at the moment, like, we don't have too much information about that. And then have 1 town hall that touches at least 3 houses. Well, houses are going to be 5 points each for our sister, so we don't want to build 3 houses, but we've got 1 over here, and there's 2 here. So this could be a good place because if we built a town hall here and then 1 house here, then actually we only have to build 1 house and we want to build 2 anyway because of these. Sorry, because of this. So maybe that's not too bad because if we take that, it means our houses are going to be worth some extra points. 5 points per building type, we don't have at least 2. So arguably, if we build 1 house, she gets 5 points. If we build no houses, she gets 5 points. And if we build 2 houses, she only gets 5 points. So realistically, building 0, 1, or 2 is going to be the same for us, but building them here could help us. So that could be really good. And because we have a bit of control over where she's building, maybe that's going to be quite achievable. So at the moment, I quite like the windmills, I quite like the town hall touching houses, and I think we want a diverse set of buildings in general and not too much fighting. So there's our early strategy. We've assessed the board state and we're going to get going. So hopefully we're going to do well. We've got our E-deck card, so we've got Alara, who's walking and spending stone to build. We've got Buttercup, that's a double slide for food and for walk. Barkley's gathering wood and sliding for wood. Puff is gathering food, and when you gain an Akari Vortex banner, gather a stone. So there's one of them here, and it's only got 2 health, so that is one we could clear early. It would give her points, but that would allow us to generate a stone early on, which could be quite beneficial and helpful to get us kind of going with some of the bigger buildings. Town halls are going to need a lot of stone, so we do need to generate stone if we're going to build that up there. We've got a walk and attack, spending stone to convert to other resources, so actually generating lots of stone would be quite good for us, and then Thatch our builder. So what I think we'll do is, this card is scary because it's right on the end, so it could drop off as soon as our sister takes a turn. So I think to start with, we are simply going to do a walk, and I'm gonna put it here because I don't want to cover the icons. I don't know if we're going to use this build anytime soon, but I don't want to lock Alara up too much because we may need that walk later on. So if I put her over here, I'm a bit concerned. So I think we're just going to do a nice, quick, simple move. We're going to move 2 down here. And then we're going to take the favor token and we're going to grab that windmill that touches at least 2 windmill cards. I think that's a really good starting card for us. And I think that that's just going to give us a bit of a kind of emotion to get going. Build 2 windmills in this clearing. Not too bad. End of my turn. So we are going to discard one of these. I'm going to put them over on this side just to take them off the screen. And we're going to slide these across and bring 2 more out. It's our sister's turn. We're going to check how much stamina she's used. Of course, she's used none so far. So we're simply going to flip over an action card, see what she does. She is going to travel 2. So she's going to move 2 clearings clockwise around the board. And then she is going to attack for 5. She will take the largest target, a 2, a 2, and a 2. They're all the same at this point, so we can choose which one she's going to take. There's 2 greens and 1 yellow, so I think we'll take a green. And we'll take it off this middle path just to help clear up this walkway for our benefit. So I'm going to take that and give that to her. She is going to score 2 points. We're going to move her down on the track, even though she gets no rewards. And then it is back to us. Okay, so we've got a food symbol down. We've got a food symbol down. And I think that we're probably going to gather some food now. I think that that's going to be the best bet for us. If we play Puff, Puff is going to allow us to gather some food. We're going to gain 3 food, 1 from Alara, 1 from Puff, 1 from the Fellowship board. And then we've gained a sword, which we might be able to use for a little while. When you gain the Akari Vortex banner, so the purple banner or the pink banner, you can get a stone. So I think that that's one. We're not going to use it a lot, so I don't want to get it too tied up. Get it back off so we can play again to gather more resources. This deck only has 1 gather food and 1 gather wood card, so we don't want them too locked away because otherwise we're going to get really stuck. So for now, we're going to play that and we're going to get 3 resources. I think that's going to set up to do an attack on this one. I know she'll get the 2 points, but we'll also get the 2 points. It'll give us some additional resource, putting us into a point where we are going to be able to do a build, and then we can get that extra stone as a reward. And I think that is a good starting point. Back to our sister. She's got 1 stamina, so she's going to flip a card. That is going to be 2 stamina. She's doing a hero 4 and attack 4. So we're going to count across 1, 2, 3, 4. Hero 4 is going to disappear, and that is actually really unfortunate because I was really hoping to get Varen. I think for this deck, having a slide to gather food card would have been really, really powerful, but we're just not at a point yet where we're able to get that card. And annoyingly, Miro, the other card that just got taken away, is a stone generating card. So that has actually proved quite painful for what I was hoping to try and do. She is then going to attack 4. Again, she can reach this one, but she can now reach to this one. This one's got 3 health, so it is the highest one, which means she will take that one. There is no decision to be made, so we're going to take that over there. She's going to score 1, 2, 3 points, and she's going to move the track down. That is the end of her turn. You'll notice that the sister will start scoring points quite quickly. She's not going to gain a lot early on, but she will score a persistent amount throughout the game. Or for us, it will take a little while to get going, which means that we can note that she is going to trigger off these bonuses. So on her next turn, she could wipe all of these favor cards out, and we do want that Town Hall one. That's tricky. That means, again, I'm kind of at a point now where I want to make sure we take it, because she might wipe this out next turn. If she wipes that out next turn, we're not going to be able to get it. The problem is that I want to fight this, and I also want to build in these areas. So if we move over here to take this one, that is going to be putting us in a bad location. If we go up here and take this one, again, well, I don't think we could get up there. So the question is, are we just going to sacrifice that card? Are we going to literally let that 12 points disappear? I'm not sure. I really actually, I don't know. She's already causing me a bit of trouble, because 12 points is a lot of points, and it also will really help us balance out that house card. So I do think we need to take it. Problem is, my walk card that I've got in my hand is a walk and attack, and I don't have to attack, but it feels wasteful not doing that attack, and I can't get up here. It's only walk 2, which means I can only come to this space. Now, I don't really want to be in this space, but I do really want that card. So the question is, are we going to move here and take that card, or are we going to stick with our plan and hope other stuff comes out? And I think that we'll stick with our plan. We'll hope that something else is going to come out. Maybe we're going to regret this. This one is spending stone to get other resources. So I'm going to place this over here. I don't want to block off these resource locations just yet. This is going to allow us to walk 2. So we're going to move 1, 2 back up to here. We're letting go of that favor card. Hopefully she's not going to take it this turn anyway. Then we're going to do an attack. We've got 2 swords. We're going to clear this off. I'm going to put this one over here, so we know that we've cleared that out. We are going to gain 2 points for doing so. We're going to gain a stone for doing so, and we can choose a reward. And I think in this instance, we're probably going to take 2 food, because this will bring our food supplies up to 5, meaning we've got enough to be able to build a windmill if we want to. That is the end of our turn, and we're going to go back to our sister. She's got 2 stamina, so she's going to play a card. This is a 2 stamina card, so this is a painful one. She's going to do an attack 15. She is, luckily this card's kind of getting out early, because the attack 15, if this came later in the game, could give her a lot more. We're on this side of the board, so I think I'm going to get her to clear away this one. That's simply going to give her 2 points. That does trigger this, so that obviously isn't great for us. And then this is going to go down to the next row. We're already nearly at that trophy and refresh, so maybe we should have saved our attack. We've now put our attack right on the end, which means that we're not going to be able to get it back very quickly to do that. So we've got to hope she's not going to do too much fighting. And now she is going to build a town hall. I think that we'll place the town hall over here. Let's place it here. We get to choose where it goes. And what's great about this location is it means that we can get to the beehive and touch it if we want to. If there's a card that's touching multiple town halls, we've got the option here for stone, and we've got the option here to touch them. So I think that is pretty good for us. And with that said, we're now going to do this. So unfortunately, we are going to lose all of the cards, and that is a shame, because I did really, really want that card, but you know, that is how it goes. So maybe with the 5 new ones that are going to come out, we are going to see something that we equally like. So we've got have at least 1 house in 3 different clearings. That does not sound good, because she's getting 5 points per house. Home exactly 3 hours, so that is doable for us. And then 3 points per copy of this card, so that is the gamble card, which we probably don't want to gamble. I mean, what's good about that is we're going to get 3 points. We're just going to achieve it. She's going to get nothing, but at the end of the day, it is just 3 points. And I want to be scoring like 130, 150 points, so it's not really worth it. Home at least 3 hours in town halls. That's interesting. There are quite a few town halls out, and we could work towards that. And this one was home 3 hours. So if we got home 3 hours and home 3 hours in town halls, That could be good. And we're not too worried about the scoring objective from ours because that's having different types of war banners. We're probably not going to do a lot of fighting because of her war banner thing. So maybe the 2 owl cards would be good for us. Have at least 4 banners from Broketooth Legion, the green banners. Again, probably not great. So I think the 2 owl ones may be what we want. And we do get to choose one. She doesn't take anything, but let's take the home exactly 3 owls. I think that is going to be a good starting point for us. This one is going to go away. The rest are going to slide across. And I think that now what we need to do is we need to probably get that 3 owls and town halls. I think that that's going to be really important for what we are to team up with that one. That could be a really great combo. And then if town halls is worth 4 points, we're still going to get 17 points for those 3 owls in those town halls. So I think that's pretty good. Have at least 1 windmill and 3 different clearings. Well, we need windmills touching windmills. So that's a lot of windmills that we probably don't want to go into yet. And home exactly 3 rabbits. That could be okay. So that is the end of her turn. It is back to us. And what are we going to do? Oh boy, so we could build a windmill. Maybe that's what we want to do. If we build a windmill, I think that could be a good starting point. If we get a windmill built, we could put it on the, well, I guess we could put it on the stone, and then we do need a windmill touching 2 windmills, which means we are limited to that space. Whilst if we build it there, we've got 3 options. So we could take the gamble. We know she's not going to do it. Maybe we're just going to focus on getting that objective done. Maybe we just fill this clearing completely and push to get a trophy nice and early from this clearing. I think that could be good. Our food gathering card is here, so we could put this onto the food icon because we're not going to use it until we do a slide. And when we do the slide, that one comes off. So I think that is going to be good. Thatcher's going to go and do some building. We're going to spend 4 food and we're going to build a windmill. Question is, do we want to build our special windmill here, or do we want to just build a base one? And at the moment, we're not going massively into attack, so I don't think that that's necessarily going to be worthwhile. Let's just go and take 4 food, and let's just build a nice standard windmill. We'll get our windmill, and we'll place it onto the stone. We're going to be a bit brave. Let's get that stone out so we can get some town halls building, because one of the issues if we're going to take this is we're going to need a lot of stone, which I hadn't really considered. So we're going to need at least 9 stone. That we've got 2. I mean, maybe we can make that work. We now get to home someone. We don't want to put owls on it because they're going on our town halls. We're not too worried about anything else specifically at this point in time. We do need to have rats in different clearings, so it makes sense for us to start by getting a rat out. Then we know that this area has got 1 rat in it, and this clearing has fulfilled that objective. I'm going to lie these down, as with the heroes, as much as I can remember to, just so you can see what they are. But of course, they do stand up if you were playing normally. So let's put that down. We've built a windmill. There's only 1 type of building there. That is going to be our turn, and we get to do our villager bonus, which means we get to take a card. Oh boy, what are we going to get? So we could spend a war banner and place it back on the board, but we're not really going into fighting. Slide to spend food to build, and then when it drops off, we gather food. So Bim's not too bad. Melody is walking, and when they drop off, you gain stone, and you're going to get at least 2 stones. So Melody could be a really, really good way for us to generate some stone early on. L'Oreal is a building card. You can spend beehives to reduce the cost. And then Corin there is gathering wood per wood stats, giving us food stats and allowing us to spend war banners to build. Oh, that is really interesting, because what that means is we could go more into fighting, because this only scores at the end of the game. So if we have a card that allows us to spend our war banners, that means that effectively we're not losing anything because we don't want them for the end of the game, and we could do a build. So Corin is really good because that could generate us wood, help us generate food, and would allow us to effectively have a free build action with, well, we gain 2 points for building, which is fantastic. But I do want that stone. If we're going massively down the town halls, I think we're going to take Melody, and then hopefully we can also try and get Corin in a little bit. I think that is going to be the way for us. So it's going to end our turn. We're going to move Digger off. We're going to slide these across. Maybe we're going to be able to get Corin in a little bit, and we're going to hope for that one. Squeak is coming out, who is walking, and when you gather 5, you can build. Rust is coming out, who when you gather 5 wood, you can build. So similar cards there, but different resources for triggering points. And of course, they give you different stats as well. So also interesting, because that's a big gather action, allowed you to immediately build for free, which is really powerful. Like if you can just focus on gather, and then you're just building for free every turn, which is actually, if we took both of those, we could be really in a good place. Build out the 2 markets, make it very easy to try and generate 5 in one go. Yeah, that is tempting. Okay, so back over here, Sister's got 4 stamina. That is less than 5, so she's going to flip 1 more card, and she is going to travel to us and then build a house. She is being sneaky. Luckily, we can choose where that house goes, so at the moment, we're going to put it here. But that does now put us on a little bit of a timer, because the problem is, oh, I hadn't considered this. Now she might, if she does a double build, we've lost our windmills. But if she does a build and then she does a build next turn, then that means both of those are going to be gone. And that basically means that we need to, within the next 2 turns, to build that windmill. Otherwise, there's a good chance she could take it from us. Oh my goodness, but we don't have the food to be able to do that. We need to generate free food. Buttercup will generate some food on sliding. Barclay's wood, and we've got nothing for generating food. So I think that we have to get Puff off the board. The problem is, if Puff comes off the board, that's going to take a slide. We're also going to lose Alara, which means we lose the food icon. So we're only going to have 1 food icon on our board and 1 on Puff, which means it's only going to generate us 2 food. And that basically means that we won't have enough. So it's going to take us probably 3 or 4 turns to be able to generate that bit of food, which I hadn't really planned out. And that means that we're just going to have to be a little bit braver over here for the time being and hope it doesn't happen. We could try to fight and get the free food from that. But again, because we've put Jin right over here, we're not going to be able to fight anytime soon. So I think we're going to have to just stick with what I was kind of planning out, which is basically to get Barkley out on the board. Because if we get Barkley out, that's going to give us 1, 2, 3 wood. And I was basically thinking we could start generating a bit of wood, build a wood-based building, and then use that to start generating some food. But we just got to hope. We got to really hope now that our sister decides to leave us, because she has really come over. We've been a bit too hesitant, a bit greedy. This deck is great at generating some of everything, but it's not great at generating a lot of one thing. And because we focused really quickly on let's just generate lots of food, it's not really working out too well for us at this moment. We're kind of playing against what the deck wants us to do, but we do know. Oh, I forgot about this. This is great. She's now got 5 stamina, which means we gain an extra turn because she's not going to do anything this turn. With 5 stamina on her cards, she's going to take those cards. They're going to move to a discard. She's going to flip over the next building, which means Market is now worth 4 points at the end of the game. So that's great. It's not windmills. It's not town halls. So far, our cards are going well for us. Then she's going to score points based on her stars, her reputation. So she's got 1, 2, 0, 0, 3, 4, 5, 6. So she's going to score 6 points. That she's going to be on to 13. That is going to trigger that scoring bonus, which means we get a stone for every 2 favor cards, which means we're now going to get a stone. And oh my goodness, this is really kind of becoming a bit challenging, because now what I'm thinking is we've got the resources to build a town hall, and we need to build 3 town halls. And if we build a town hall, then we can home an owl. And if we home an owl, we can get another card, and we can use that card to help us start gathering more resources. So really, that's what we want to be doing. If we get Corin, for example, that's 2 food icons, and then suddenly Puff can generate as much food as we need for our windmills. So that is really tempting, but I don't dare build a town hall here, because then there's 1 space left and she could take it, which means that really we need to move somewhere else, and then we could then build the town hall. And if we do move up here, that allows us to take that favor card, which does mean there's no risk of her taking it, because at the moment that is at high risk. So we probably want to be able to move up there. We do have a walk card in our hand with Melody, and this is a challenge because I think that we do need to slide. But if we get Melody in play, she's going to allow us to walk, which is going to allow us to take the Town Hall's card. And then when we do the slide next turn, it brings it to the end, which then generates us a bunch of stone, which can help us with that build action. And then we'll be in the place to do the build. And then if we get the beehive, that gives us 2 beehives that allows us to do another build with the Town Hall. So I think that's what we've got to do. I think we have to pay Melody, and we're just going to walk, and we're going to walk up here. We're taking the gamble for the moment. We're playing brave. I mean, this will be painful if we lose it, but it's not the end of the world. It is possible for us to build another windmill here that's touching 2, and okay, we'll have to build an extra windmill, but that's not the end of the world. But I do think that have home at least 3 hours in town halls, along with our home exactly 3 hours, is really, really important. That's such a good combo of cards. It's timing out really nicely with where we're at with the buildings. So that's going to bring our turn to the end. We're going to take this card off. These cards are going to slide across. And now what we're really hoping is that our sister's going to move. We really, really don't want her to build. We really, really, really want her to go for a walk. And let's see what the card's going to be. Travel to us. Oh my goodness, thank goodness for that. And this is one of the great things. You never know what she's going to do. She's just like another player. You may think that she's aware of what you're doing. You may think that she's trying to outplay you, but she's doing her own thing. So thank goodness for us. Moving up here was also a strategic move because it means that the travel to you, she's more likely to move away. And I totally thought that one out. And now she's going to do an attack. She's going to attack up here. Let's get rid of this one because it clears this pathway, making it easier for us to walk down here. She is going to get 2 more points. The track is going to go down. That is the end of her turn. So the next attack is a trophy. Oh, we didn't take any attack stuff. We could have built that windmill at the start. If we had built that windmill at the start, we'd have 2 swords. We could have played a card there. We could have cleared that and got the trophy, which would have outweighed the 2 points per war banner. So we should have built that war banner at the start, that windmill at the start, because we didn't. We're now in that situation where we're effectively handing that to her, and we just have no way to rectify that. But anyway, we're going to do a slide. Unfortunately, we're losing Alara's benefit. We could spend a stone to do a build, but then we don't have the resources required to build what we want to build. So I think at this point, we're really just doing a reset. Alara's coming off. Puff is coming off. Melody is getting to position to generate stone. Thatch is getting into position to build. So next turn, we could generate 2 stone, and we could also do a build. Jin is allowing us to convert stone into other resources. Oh, I should have thought about this. oh no, that's not great, because we could then convert our free stone into free food, which would allow us to have built the windmill. Oh, that is so tempting. If we could spend our stone, and we could spend as much light, get as much the equivalent of wood and food, so we could do that. Oh, but then we are going to have to do a walk back. But that's fine, I think, because then we could play Alara that does the walk. Then we could do a slide, which would allow us to do the gathering of more stone. Oh no, we could play Alara to walk, and then we could use her build action to do the build. But we're not going to have the stone to do that, are we? So are we going to be able to do it? If we walk back down, we're not going to be able to do the slide. So we want to do the slide. If we do the slide, we're going to have to do the build. So we're going to do the build of what we've got. So no, it's not going to work. So maybe, oh, I'm tempted, but let's stick with our guns. We've got to build 3 town halls. We've got the stone. We know the stone is hard to get. We could slide Barclays to get a wood. We could change our food into a wood. That allows us to build some wood buildings. But again, we need the food for the town hall. So I think that we're okay. We should have, if I'd done that slide last turn and not moved up, maybe it would have been okay. But then our sister would have still been here. So that was a bit of a challenge. Anyway, that's us done. It's back to our sister. Let's see what she's going to do. She is going to do voting voting for voting to. So this is a incorrect phrasing. This should mean favor and will be updated in the version you've got. So we've got this one here and this one here are both going to disappear. And of course, at the end of her turn, this one's going to disappear as well. So she actually just did a mass reset on those cards for us, which is unfortunate, but you know, we are okay. At least she didn't gain points. At least she didn't attack or build anything. And she's given us some options. Have the most trophies. I mean, one attack could get us close, like get us working towards that. Have buildings in exactly 4 different clearings. I mean, again, we probably do want to be working towards that because of our rats. So that would limit us to only 4 though, and then 3 points per boathouse. Currently, boathouses haven't come up, so that means that even if a boathouse was free, that would neutrify her a bonus on that. So that could be really good for us as well. So at the moment, I quite like the 3 points for boathouse because we know that they're going to be low scoring for her. But that's her done. Back to us. Now, I think we are going to do the build. Oh, the unfortunate thing is I don't want to slide and get that stone until we've spent the stone, because otherwise we're just going to throw it away. But that's okay. No, what we can do, okay, I've got it. So what we can do is we can do the slide with Melody, which is going to generate us 2 stone. So we're going to throw away 2 wood, and with that 2 wood, we're going to get 2 stone. Then what we're going to do is we're going to slide thatch. Thatch is going to allow us to build, so we can now spend that 3 stone and the food and the wood and place our town hall onto the building. And then what we will be able to do in a minute is we'll be able to use that 2 stone with gin to get our 2 wood back and to gain 2 additional food. So effectively, we're kind of using this as a storage to then break it back down. The wood's gone to stone, then the stone's going to go back to wood and food with additional wood. So that's great. Let's place our town hall before we forget. I think we're going to place it here straight onto the beehive. That is going to give us the ability to build our special town hall if we want to in a moment. Now we need to home an owl. Ideally we'd put a rat on it because it would give us another rat in this area, which means we do want to build something else there, but we're working towards having 3 owls in town halls. So let's put our owl down on here, and then we're going to look back at our hero cards and we're going to gain 1 point. So we're catching up slowly. Corin was really where it was at, wasn't it? I really liked the idea of getting Corin because that would allow us to attack. It would allow us to push off those war banners and not worry too much. I think that it's going to be Corin. I really do. I think having another build card would be good. I mean, the others are a lot of walk cards there at the moment, and we have already picked up a walk card, so I'm not too against it. But you know, Melody and Jin is such a great combo. I'm sorry, I just want to point that out. I'm really happy that we kind of triggered that out. So let's take Corin. I think that that's going to help us with some of our resource issues. Then we have finished our build. We've gained our bonus. We're going to move Jin. So here's what I was saying. We can now take those 2 stone. We can convert them into wood, and we can convert them into food using Jin's ability. So that is absolutely fantastic. Then Barkley's going to come across and simply give us 1 stone. So even though we've just spent 5 resources, we've actually just gained 5 resources back, or 6, I guess, because we gained the beehive as well. These ones come back to our hand, and I'm reasonably happy with how that turn played out. I think that wasn't too bad for us. We've got our first town hall down. That is going to generate. So one of the other challenges as well is that I guess we don't have to build all of our town halls up here, because I was thinking let's build the 3 town halls. We could build another town hall now, but we don't really want to build them all here because we're just going to get 1 point for each one we build because they're all going to be touching town halls. We really want to diversify. We need to get at least 2 of each different type of building. So we want to be spreading those out more. The question then becomes, where are we going to build them and what are we going to do? But first, it's our sister's turn. She's only had 1 stamina. She's going to travel to us again. Then she's going to finally do an attack 5. She's going to take that. She's going to claim her 2 points. She is going to then take a trophy. And now we get to decide, oh, this is interesting. We get to decide what trophy she's going to take, which then in turn means that we get to choose what secondary reward we want. what I'm thinking then is we talked about doing boat houses. So what we could do is take the wood one. That would give us 4 wood, but then we still need a stone. Although we could spend 4 wood in a beehive, and that would allow us to get our resource space up. That could be helpful now that we've got Corrin. So yeah, let's do that. I should have just reset these at the end of the last turn. So let's just get that out. But I think that let's do the wood trophy, because that way she's going to take that. She doesn't get any resources, but she does get her 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points for her. And then, oh, that's interesting. We get to take a wood, which gives us enough wood to be able to build a boathouse where we are, which means we don't have to move, which means it's going to be 2 different types of buildings. We can put a rat on it, which would generate us more wood and would help us get our rats in different clearings. And it's going to help us work towards 3 points per boathouse, which we're definitely going to get. And if we home another rat, that will allow us to take that card without having to do anything else. So I think that's good, but she's just triggered the home an additional person, villager, and I don't know what we're going to do with that, because we could use that to home a rat now. If we use that to home a rat, then the problem is that we're going to get wood. We don't need wood. So what I'm actually thinking, yeah, let's come down here. Let's come all out down here, because we could just put an owl. If we take an owl, we're not going to get anything for that owl, but we could put that owl in this town hall. That gives us another owl in another town hall, which does work towards us having our 3 town halls. It means we don't have to worry about that stone, so that's really benefit. So whilst we're only not going to get a reward in sense of the sword we don't really need, we are at least going to save ourselves 3 stone. And we're not planning to, we haven't, well, I guess Melody gives us some stone, but we've not gone too heavily into that path just yet, and it is going to score us 2 points. So I think that works quite nicely. I think that's a good way for us to try and skirt around that a little bit, and then when we build our other windmill here, it's going to be worth an additional point as well, so that's also going to help. I think that that's probably, yeah, no, that's probably a good way to go. So this track is going to go back to the top. Any of the dangerous areas that are still on the board are going to go back into the bag, and they're going to reset. So right now I'm feeling okay. I think that we want to get the 3 points per boathouse card. We've got 2 of our owls in. We've nearly got our windmill one in as well. So that is actually not too bad. And then we really need to start pushing for some new stuff, because at the moment we are working really well towards the few that we've got, but we've only got 3, and we want to have at least 6 or 7 of those by the end of the game, and ideally having all 8, especially if we're going down the rat track, because that is going to allow us to get one of the additional harder to get ones. So I think that is it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's great. And yeah, that is the end of her turn, because we just homed through the additional bonus, which again she doesn't get to do anything of, but that's not too bad. So it's going to be our turn. We are at a point then when we can build a boathouse, so really we do want to do a build, and I guess we're just going to play Thatch to be able to do that build. Yeah, I think that's just it. I think we're going to keep it nice and simple. We'll play Thatch. We'll play Thatch over the wood so that Thatch is close enough to the end for us to go back. And then we are going to do the build. So we're going to spend 4 wood, which we've recently managed to get. We're going to spend the beehive, and that's going to allow us to build our special boathouse. We'll spend this one over here, because that allows us to reach up to this market if at some point, for some reason, we want to be able to do that. At this point, we do want to have a rat in this clearing, so I think that we are going to take a rat. We're going to place that one up there. That's going to be 2 different types of buildings. We're going to get 2 wood for homing that rat, and we're going to add it in. We've now got some additional resource space as well, which is going to really help, because we've already had a point where we've thrown a little bit of resource away. It's going to be the end of our turn. Back over to our sister. She's on 2 stamina. We're flipping her over, and she's going to build a windmill, and she's going to build a market. Oh my goodness, this was unexpected. So she's doing a double build. So she nearly stole this area completely from us. Oh, that is interesting, because I hadn't planned to build another thing there. But now that is really interesting, because now we want to build there. We want to claim the trophy from that space. That would be really, really beneficial for us. So I think that we do need to try and work towards getting a build, but again, we don't have the resources. I think that what can we do to generate them? Because the problem is we also don't have another build card apart from Thatch, which is a double slide. But to do a double slide, we also need to generate the resources, and we just don't have the resources at the moment. So, I can see how we can do this in 2 turns. This is it. Are we going to try and hope that she doesn't build next turn? I think that is the only option I can see. I think that we have to. What if we do this way? Oh, interesting. So we could play Corrin, and if we play Corrin on here, we could get a stone, and we could use our war banner, reducing that 2 points to get a build, and then next turn we could play Puff to generate enough food to then use the stone that we generated here along with the war banner to do a build, to do a market. So I think that's it. I think we have to play Corrin here to gain a stone using a fellowship skill. We're not going to use the card itself, and we're just going to gain a stone. So now we're just hoping that our sister is not going to do a build, and as long as she doesn't do a build in our current location, we're going to be very happy. And she is. Okay. She is. She's going to do voting free. That's annoying. I mean, again, you know, this is part of it, because if you were playing with another player, they would try and build there if they could, and that is really frustrating for us. But again, we kind of, it's not the end of the world. Like, okay, she's just gained 5 points. It's going to give us something. But most importantly, it wasn't part of our original plan to build there. So it's not like we've entirely lost everything. It's just the fact that we saw an opportunity from what she did, but maybe she saw that we couldn't build, and therefore she knew she would have that safety of doing her next build. Who knows what she was thinking? I reckon, though, maybe we do the beehive card. Like, because getting 1 food is not going to help us. Getting 1 stone is not going to help us. Getting a beehive is possibly going to help us. So we're going to take the 1 from that. We're going to give her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. And you can see we're pushing through this game. We're already 2 trophies down, and there's 2 spaces here, but then we've not really built elsewhere. So it's not too bad. We know she's going to rest next turn. So now we've got to make a decision, because we're now placed to be able to build, but we aren't in a position to have been able to build. Maybe we should have taken the stone. If we'd taken the stone and done a slide with Jin, we could have converted both of our stone into 2 food and 2 wood, and that would have given us our windmill money. But now I think we're at a point where we really do need to, we have to get this windmill built. And I think the only way we're going to do that, which again is not going to be efficiently, but I think we're generating and building ourselves up for a bit of a kind of a double whammy here. So what I'm thinking is we put in a Lara. A Lara is going to allow us to walk. This is going to allow us to walk back to here to build our windmill. Now, next turn, we can generate the food we need. We can use the wall banner to do the build, and we can place the build. And if we want to, perhaps based on like the current situation at the time, we may even be able to spend a stone to do a second build if we have enough resources to do it and claim the clearing. So I think next turn, we are going to go for that double clearing. And we know she's not going to do anything. She is resting. We're going to take her cards. We're going to place them over here. She is going to flip over this next one, and she has got boat houses. So let's clear these up. We know that the 3 points per boathouse card is here, and we probably do want that because 3 points per copy of this card. If we had taken the other one, that would have gone well for us, but we didn't, and now that's 12 points gone. But that's the gamble of those cards. They are a gamble card. There's only 3 of them in there, so you're never going to be sure if you're going to see them. There's nearly 100 cards in that deck. But that's part of the fun of the copy of this card. Okay, so she is going to score points. She is getting 3 points per boathouse, which does neutralize that, but we do need to build 2. So not having that basically means we're losing 6 points. So that is worth it's worth 6 points to us as a minimum, really, based on what else we do. So let's count up her stars. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stars. She's going to catch up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points, crossing the beehive. And what you're probably thinking right now is she's really far ahead. And the sister, she will score a lot of points during the game, and she keeps them at an average pace, whilst we'll gain more points as the game progresses. We've also let her take those 2 trophies that really didn't work well in our favor. And we're playing on a hard difficulty. As I said, this is hard. If we were playing on the easy difficulty, she wouldn't have these 2 cards. That means that she would be getting 4 points less per scoring phase. So she would have already gotten 8 points less than she's got, which is what, a quarter of her score just from those 2 cards, and she's going to score more from them at the end. Anyway, over to us, and I think this is our moment to shine. This is where we're going to catch up, play the big cards, and we are going to get going. And I think that we can do some beautiful stuff right now, because Puff is coming out and it's going to gain us 1, 2, 3, 4 food, and luckily we've gained all of this resource space, which means that now we can take all 4 of that food, which is absolutely fantastic. We've got loads of resources. It looks better than it is, but we've still got quite a few in there. And now we can do a build. So we're going to spend our war banner using this ability, and we are going to get to do a build, which is fantastic because that gains us back our 2 points. And I think, I don't know, because now I'm thinking, do we want to take this windmill rather than a base windmill? We've got the beehives for it. It gives us the extra slot. It gives us that attack, and there's been a few times where we wanted to be able to do that attack. If we clear these Ikari vortexes, then we're going to get stones. There's one over here, which is 5 points. That could be, 4 points and a stone. Then we could respend it into Corrin. There's one down here for 1, which again, a nice easy win. So I think that whilst I wasn't really planning to, that Corrin card has now allowed us to maybe do a little bit more on the fighting side of things, and that could be quite beneficial. So we're going to place this one into here. That is going to give us a windmill, and we've already got a rat here. We don't want to do an owl because we need our owls in town halls, which means we are going to do a rabbit or we're going to do a frog. And it's a tricky one because the rabbit's going to allow us to get another voting card, and it's going to score us points for our largest kind of neighborhood, largest group of things, and it's going to give us a stone, which I think is going to be quite useful. The frogs are going to be more about food and homing an additional guy, which again could be quite beneficial. We know we're going to put all the rats out. We're only going to put one more owl out, so we might get a lot of frogs and a lot of rabbits out. So I think for the minute, for the sake of diversity and keeping this nice and mixed up, let's put a rabbit into this new windmill. That is going to score us 2 points. So we're going to get 2 points for that. And it's going to allow us to take a card, which to be honest, I hadn't actually considered. So right now we've got a building card, and maybe another building card would be good, but it's sliding on walking. We've then got an attacking card over here, and we've just built this slot up. So do we really need another attack? But then this is going to be 5 health. So a couple of big attacks. I think that's going to be more useful for us, because if we go with Corrin's approach, yes, sure, if we spend like a 1 health thing, it's gaining us a point back. But if we clear like a 4 point or a 5 or a 6 points, that's going to, even like the 10 point one, that's going to get us a lot more points, and we're only going to have to spend that 2 back off. So it's still probably worth us pushing into those bigger attacks. And then Vera over here is going to allow us to, when we clear a dangerous area, to walk. So the question is, do we want to be able to do the big powerful attacks? Well, no, both big tower attacks, but this one's got 2 swords, this one's got 1, or do we want to clear and get the walk? I think that we are going to take the 2 swords because we don't want to do a lot of fighting, but what we do want to do is we want to do some fighting, which is powerful. So we don't reset those yet. We've built our windmill, we've done that. But now this is where our turn really starts to shine, because now what I'm thinking, we can now spend the stone onto a Lara. We can spend the 2 remaining beehives, placing those back into the supply to build the town hall on here to fill this space. And then we can place the owl back onto here, and that has worked out really well for us, because now we've got our 3 hours done, and that's fantastic. That's going to score us 2 points for placing the building. We've now completed our 2 objectives: home exactly 3 owls, home at least 3 owls in windmills, sorry, in town halls, and have 1 wheel touching 2 windmills. So actually all of our favor cards are done, which is great. That's going to reward us 1 stone per war banner. So if we had built this building first, then we would have been able to get a stone for that. So we played the cards in the wrong order. But the benefit of doing that is we can now take a trophy. And I feel like I do want to take the home additional villager trophy. I don't know where we want to go yet. So we've got to have at least 15 buildings. We've currently only got 6. So we need 9 more buildings out. We're at the halfway point. So that's going to be a struggle. Hence why the home additional is going to be useful. 5 points per type where you don't have at least 2. So we need to have at least 2 of everything. And we want to get that 3 points per boathouse card. So what I'm thinking is we home a rat, then that rat will allow us to take a voting card. If we home let's, for example, take our rat, and let's be smart. If we put it over here, sure, it's going to be worth, 3 points? If we put it over here, it's going to be worth 3 points. If we put it over here, that's going to get us a rat into this clearing. It's going to get us another boathouse. It's still going to get us 1 point, which obviously isn't as good, but that's then going to allow us to claim our 3 points per boathouse objective, and that one can come up here. And now we've already got 6 points that neutralizes the 6 points she's going to gain, which means we're gaining +5 from not losing the 5 against this, and we've gained the 5 from this. So that's a really good turn for us, I think. That's basically net gained us somewhere around 6 to 16 points, depending on how you look at it, and saved us maybe having to go over to here. So yeah, so we're going to take that one. Obviously, we're not going to get the 5 points for actually doing it, but we will put it down. She doesn't get anything. So now we're simply going to reset those tracks. And we're going to take that one off. These are going to come across. 2 new cards are going to come out. Oh my goodness, it's Maple, one of my favorite heroes in the game. When you play her, you simply get to play another card and she gives you a lot of stats. And also Patty, that allows us to convert war banners into food. Oh my goodness. So then maybe we do want to go heavily into attacking now. We don't need stone anymore. We've kind of done our stone strategy, although stone we can convert across, so it does still help us. But maybe now we just want to go really into fighting. We can use Corin and we can use Patty to convert those into food and builds, which could be really good for us. I think though, what I'm kind of thinking is that we want to run around the board now, do a little bit of walking and get some more favor cards, because we really, really need to have some more favor cards. Home 5 owls and 5 rabbits we're not going to do. Build in 4 different clearings. We've already built in 3, and I feel like we are going to do more than that. Have at least 5 war banners. Probably not, based on the fact that we're going on the double selling strategy. Home at least 3 rabbits and windmills. I've just homed 1 rabbit in a windmill. So that wouldn't be too bad either, would it? Like, we know windmills are going to only be 1 or 2 points. And we only need to home 2 more. But we've already built 2 windmills, and this whole having at least 2 of each building type, building 4 windmills is not going to help. But I guess we got to build 15 buildings. There's 5 different types. We need 2 of each, which is going to be 10, which still means we need an additional 5 buildings. So maybe 2 of those could be windmills. So yeah, I don't think that one's too bad. But that's us over, and we're going to come back to our sister player, and she is going to travel 1 and she's going to attack 4. I'm also quite mindful now. So 4, this is a 5, this is a 5, this is a 2, so she can only do that one, which is fortunate for us because that's going to save a couple of points. She's going to move down on the track. We've caught up a little bit, like the gap is still obviously not great, but we'll catch up. But what I'm thinking is we're halfway through the game, but these areas aren't filled. So we probably don't want to focus on a smaller area. We want to probably focus on some of these bigger areas to really try and get a large neighborhood for the rabbits to score up for us, because they score 2 points per largest kind of neighborhood. So yeah, we probably want to walk around them. We probably want to come around to here. Despite the fact we've just put that there, so maybe we should have put that one here, and then come around and get these 2 favor tokens. I think that we need to do a bit of walking, get the favor tokens, maybe clear this off. We can then spend it up, gain the bonuses for it. So yeah, I think that is our plan. Question is, what do we want to do first? So we've now got 1, 2, 3, for 5 swords. So considering we're not trying to fight, we've generated ourselves 5 swords. And I would really like to try and do things as efficiently as possible right now. So what I'm thinking is we could just play a walk card and just walk around. But what I'm also wondering is if we play Buttercup, she's going to allow us to do some free walking on slides. And if we then use her to attack, so she's not going to do anything when we play her, but we play her to do an attack. If we attack this one, that's going to clear this pathway for us to be able to come through here. And that is going to give us 3 points, 1, 2, 3, which is not too bad, but that's going to allow us to clear that pathway. And then when we next do our slide, we're then going to be able to do something a little bit better with that slide, and we'll get to do the walk rather than just playing a walk card directly. So that's not too bad. We also get to choose a reward. Do we want food? Do we want wood? It's tricky. I mean, we've built 2 boathouses. We still need to do 2 houses, which means 2 wood would be good because that would put us onto 4 wood. But I think that, we're talking about homing rabbits in windmills, so maybe just getting some more food and getting those rabbits down would be good. They breeding like bunny rabbits, you know, trying to get a lot of rabbits out as quickly as possible. So I think that we'll come over here and we are going to take the 2 food to get those ones going. Right now at the moment, I'm not as worried about the houses because if we build 2 houses, it's going to give her 10, save us 5, which means she's gaining a net of 5. And I don't think there's anything really that matters because earlier we were talking about getting another card. So maybe we don't need to worry too much about houses and we can really push down into that bunny rabbit kind of path. But I think we're set up and I feel like we've got a good sliding combo. It is a shame that we don't have any stone, and I was trying to find a way to do that, but I don't think we can. And then it's going to set us up for a build off the next slide. And maybe we could do another attack over here as well. That attack could get us a stone, which would then allow us to do a bigger build as well. So that's not too bad. Okay, that is us done. Over to our sister. What's she going to go and do? She's going to travel 2 and then she is going to build a market. We're going to move her 1, 2 spaces. She's coming to join us. She's building a market. We're not too worried about what's down here, so that's going to be her done. What I really love about this solo mode is her turns are so quick and easy. You don't really have to worry too much. And the times you do make a decision, you're making a decision based on your strategy and what you want to achieve, which I think is just, it's a really neat, cool way of doing it. So here comes Jin. Jin's going to come off. Unfortunately, we haven't got any stone. Here comes Barkley. Barkley's going to come off and generate us a wood, which is great news. Thatch is going to get into place for the build. Puff's going to come across and not do anything. Alara's going to come across and do nothing. Corin's going to come across and is going to generate us 1 wood per 2 wood symbols. Unfortunately, Barkley has just come off. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. So we haven't got 2, we've only got 1. We do need to get that market built then, so that then Corin is going to be generating wood on a slide. That would be really beneficial, but Buttercup's going to come across, is going to give us our food, which is something we wanted, and she's going to allow us to walk. We can walk up to 3 spaces. Interesting. So I was thinking that we want to come up to here, and because we cleared this, we can actually go 1, 2, 3, and we can actually walk straight there now with Buttercup, but we would bypass this favor token. So the question is, do we want to bypass the favor token? And I think we do, because I think that if we come 1, 2, and 3, that's going to allow us to take this favor token, and then next turn we're going to do another slide, which is going to allow us to build. We've got the resources to build. We could build onto the beehive next to our boathouse, put a windmill down, get 2 points, gain a beehive back, then we can use that beehive and hopefully some wood to build the market to then get the benefits back from Corin, and perhaps doing the fighting to do this. And then when we do our next slide, we get to do another walk, which allows us to come and get that favor token or this favor token. So I think, if I can remember all that in a minute, that's going to work really well for us. And we said that we want to have at least 3 rabbits in windmills. So we're going to put this one up here for us now. We're up to 5 cards. That is going to be the end of our turn. We'll discard that one off. We'll move these ones across. And that's not too bad. Home at least 1 frog in 4 different clearings. We've not homed any frogs yet. Have at least 1 market in 3 different clearings. Now that one could be good because we're about to build a market. So that one could be good because we build another market here, then tag one of these markets up here. That's going to give us 2, and this one up here is going to generate us 3 points for doing it. Then if we get this market, we can maybe then try and put one of our bunny rabbits onto this one up here, which would generate us 4 points. So I think that works really well. We want to try and get the frog bonus to tag here, the 62-point bonus if we get to it to tag there, and that is going to get us, that would be a good kind of plan out for that. But it's not our turn. It's over to our sister, I believe. I'll just return these 2 cards to our hand, and our sister's going to go, and what's she going to do? She's going to take the card 5 over here. That one's going to disappear, and we're going to put that there. She's then going to build 1 house, and where is she placing this house? I guess for us it doesn't matter. We're going to place it there. So this is starting to fill up. So maybe we do want to come down here, try and fill these 2 spaces, claim another trophy, and get our favor token. So that could be quite beneficial. We're not really placed to be able to do that right now, but maybe that's something we want to try and aim for, to try and snatch it from her. Put that one across, slide these across. What we do know is our sister doesn't have many ways of building 2 buildings in 1 turn, and we know that she's already done 1 of those. So maybe that's something we can benefit from. Oh, more options coming up. Have at least 3 rats in markets. Unfortunately, we've got 2 rats which aren't in markets, and this one's not in a market, so we're not able to do that. That could have been really good for us having rats all around the place. Have at least 1 town hall in 3 different clearings. We've got a town hall here. We've got a town hall here. We know they're not worth a lot of points. So building 1 more town hall somewhere else could be really good. We don't put an owl in it, because we don't want to home more owls, but we can have more town halls as long as we don't put owls into them. So that's fine. So maybe that's really good because we've got 2, and that's a 10-point card. So that is probably a must for us right now, because that's a huge amount of points that we could definitely do. That's just 1 more building, and everything's just 1 more building, isn't it? It's 1 more windmill, it's 1 more town hall, it's 1 more whatever. It's just 1 more of everything. But that is the end of her turn. It's over to us, and now the tricky part comes, because I think we're just going to do the slide and build, and I think that, yeah, it's a shame that Corin's again not going to do anything, because we don't have the ability yet to get the market out, because we don't have the beehive. But if we build here, we'll get the beehive, and then that is going to put us in a situation where we'll be able to do it in the future. So I think that that's the plan. We're going to not get the full benefits from Corin this time around. But again, that's okay. We're not really losing too much. It just would have been nice. So we're going to do another slide. Thatch is going to come off. This is going to allow us to spend 1, 2, 3, 4 food, and that's going to allow us to build a windmill. We're going to place the windmill onto the beehive to get the beehive to build the market once we've got 1 more wood on another turn. That's going to allow us to home someone. We want to home rabbits into our windmills, so we're going to take a rabbit. We're going to place the rabbit onto here. That's going to score us 2 points, and that's then going to also generate us a stone for putting that rabbit out. So I'm quite happy with that one. Puff is going to come off, which is unfortunate because we are in a situation where we can clear that, but that's okay. Alara's coming off, which is fine. Corin's coming across. We're not going to generate the wood because, again, now we've lost thatch, which is the wood. So even though we've cleared this wood up, unfortunately, thatch coming off means we haven't got it just 1 more time. Buttercup's going to come across, generate us 1 food, is allowing us to walk. And I think that based on the fact we can walk, we are going to come down here. That's going to allow us to take that favor token. That's going to allow us to take our town hall card, get that one claimed out. So now we need 1 more town hall somewhere, and we need to get 1 more rabbit in a windmill somewhere. And this puts us over here. So as long as we can get some resources, that's going to allow us to do the build. And I think that that would be a great way to snap that up. Unfortunately, we are, of course, getting closer and closer to the end, but we're in a good place, I think. We've not really gotten any villager track bonuses, which isn't ideal for us. But outside of that, the favor cards are going well. But then that said, we've played a terrible, terrible game. We've not really killed anything, which means we've not got many points from clearing dangerous areas. We've not been building a good set of diverse buildings because we've been building just little bits and bobs and lots of duplicate windmills, which means we're not getting a lot of points from that. And we're not getting the villager bonuses. So we're not getting many during game point bonuses, but I think we're keeping well on top of her scoring objectives. We just need to find a way to try and close this gap up just a little bit. But that's the end of our turn. Right now, I'm feeling the pressure, and I'm going to remind you we're playing on hard, because if I do lose, that's why. If I win, then that's also great. Okay, so sister's going to come. Okay, so she is going to take off another one of the favor cards. Again, the text on those cards is wrong, so I do apologize. Then she's going to do an attack of 4. There's a 1 here, a 2 here, which is lucky for us because we don't want her to take this one, really. Which means she is going to take that one. That is going to score her 2 points, and that is going to then bring her to the end of her turn. One of the great things about the solo mode is that it does keep these cards refreshed. So just because you're playing with yourself, it doesn't mean that you're going to be very, very kind of stuck with just having the same things. Interestingly, 1 point per war banner does kind of neutralize her 2 points per war banner a little bit. So if we had gotten that early on, that wouldn't have been too bad. Have at least 3 banners from the Akari Vortex. So that one, if we weren't trying to spend them all, also would have been quite good for us. What I'm thinking right now, though, is it's really a battle for this clearing. We want to build something here, and we want to put a rat here. And we probably want to build that market, which means we just need to generate a little bit of wood. And then we've just got to hope that she builds 1 building, and then we can snatch it up. And then I think we'll be in a good place to come back over here. And yeah, I think that's what we want. I think we just want 1 building here, and it's a marketplace that we're going to put the rat into, but we don't have the resources just yet. So what we do is we want to generate some wood, and we've got our good old Barclay card for generating some wood. I'm just trying to figure out how we can make the most of this, because when we home that rat, we are going to get 1 wood per favor card, which means we are going to get 6 wood, which means we immediately have the ability to build a boathouse or a house. Oh my goodness, no, these aren't wood, they're food. Oh my goodness, thank goodness I sorted that out. That is exactly why I've been walking this through in my head. I knew it felt off. These are going to cost us food, so we want to gather food, and we're going to play Puff because that gets us our Akari card back in. Oh my goodness, I really could have messed it up. Yes, we're going to get the wood from the rat, but we are going to get food from playing Puff. That is 1 step ahead in my head. Okay, so that is generating us 4 food. That is going to be enough for us to place our last windmill that needs a rat into this clearing. So now what we're hoping is our sister's either going to build a building here, or she's going to leave. And what I'm thinking is, I should have moved this one down for her. She's going to build a boathouse. That's great. That is really good news for us. She's going to take rust away from our options, which is unfortunate. And then she is going to build 1 boathouse. We're going to let her place it here. So she's built up this entire clearing. We're not going to get many points for our windmill, but we will get the trophy, which is just all I really wanted. And next turn, she's going to rest. So we also know that we're going to get 2 turns. So do we want to just do a quick build now? Or do we want to try and do something more interesting that will then allow us to do a bigger build in a minute? But these are our interesting cards, and unfortunately, they are both on the board, which is a shame. So I think that we are just going to do a traditional build. Yeah, and we're going to play Thatch. I think we're just going to do the build, and then we're going to try and walk back up. We could use Buttercup, so we're probably going to do a slide to walk back up. And then if we put Thatch here, that will bring him across, so he's then poised to be able to do that slide. And I think that that's going to be our best bet. I don't think we want to place it over here. So yeah, let's do that. Let's place Thatch over here. Thatch is then going to trigger a build, which we're then going to spend our 4 food, and we're going to spend the beehive. And if we do that, and try not to throw it on the floor, we can take this market, unlocking the 2 wood, which means Corin is finally going to generate some wood for us. Place this one over here, generate a stone for doing so. And unfortunately, it's not a windmill, which means that we're not going to be putting a rabbit in it, but we are going to put a rat in it, which then is going to get us 1 point for the building, and then it's going to generate us 1 wood for every favor card we've got. We've got 6 favor cards, which means we could generate 6 wood. We've only got 5 spaces though, and the question is, do we want 6 wood? So we take 6, that would put us on to 9. 9 would allow us to do 2 things, but so would 5, because that would give us 8. And we're about... and Corin is in a position where we can generate some wood, and for the first time in the game, we don't actually need the wood. That's fantastic planning, that is. So let's get this out here. But what I'm also thinking is homing one more rat is going to score us 1 point for every wood that we have. So we do want to home another rat. So ideally, we want to come over here and home a rat. And if we do that, we can get points for all of our wood. We need to build another town hall, so we probably don't want to throw away our stone. Oh, how do we get the most out of this? What I think we do... Okay, I've got it. What we're going to do is we're going to just take 1 wood. We're going to take that extra wood, and we are going to throw away a food. And I think that is going to be the optimal way to do it. Because now what we can do is we can claim a trophy. And when we claim the trophy, we can claim this trophy here. This trophy for filling that clearing is going to score us 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. It's going to allow us to take 2 stone, but we're only going to take 1 stone, and we're going to throw away 1 wood to get that stone. That now gives us 3 stone, 1 food, and 1 wood to build a town hall. And if I remember correctly, we need to have 1 more town hall and another clearing. We can then put that town hall over here. We can then put the rat onto that town hall, which is then going to trigger 1 point per wood, and that's then going to score us 6 points for our 7 points for our remaining wood. Perfect. That is absolutely fantastic. That, though, is the end of my turn. And I think that that was a pretty good turn. I'm quite happy with how that played out. And I think that we're finally starting to catch up just a little bit. And now our sister is going to rest, which means that she's going to shoot ahead once more. We're going to flip this over, and windmills have come out. So town halls are only worth 1 point. So I don't mind the fact we've built 4 town halls, or will have. Windmills being worth 1 is... worth 2 is not like fantastic, but it could have been a lot worse. So what have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points for our sister, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points for her. Now this is going to score. Unfortunately, we hadn't put the rat over here, because this is going to score us 2 points for every clearing where we've got a building. And I had hoped we would get at least 1 more out, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 clearings, which is going to score us 8 points. And that is going to help us catch up some of that gap. So this is a really good way in the solo mode of catching up with your sister, because she's not going to score any points for that. Are we going to get to this? This is a question. The game might end before we get to the 62 point mark trigger, and it's up to our sister, really. I think that she will do it, but it's a tricky one. So with us, I think we're going to do a slide. And as I say, because we want to come over here and then we want to build, and I don't think that I have the ability to walk and build off 1 card. No, we don't have any of the charge walk abilities, which are really powerful for being able to walk and do something on your turn. This deck is, or this starter deck we had, is a little bit more restrictive in its movement abilities. It's very dependent on doing lots of sliding for that movement, but we have set this up quite well, because then we're going to bring this one off, and that's going to bring Ilara back to our hand. So finally we're going to be able to reuse that. Corin's going to come off, and that's now going to get discarded, and that is going to finally give us the ability to spend that other token. And funnily enough, we now do have 2 wood stats, but unfortunately we need to have the resources we've got to build up that town hall, and I don't think there's any benefit in not doing so. We're going to bring Thatch across, which lines us up for that next build. Buttercup's going to come across, allow us to gather a food, but again, we're perfectly situated for that big rat scoring opportunity, and that's going to just allow us to move over to here. We'll take a nice stroll. Puff's going to come across, and that is us done. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. Next turn, we could just do another slide, get the build done, and then maybe we could just walk back, because we did want to do some more over here. this will be our last rat, and therefore we're going to go down to the rabbits. So we do want to get those rabbits out. We were trying to get 3 rabbits on windmills. We've managed to do 2 of those. The town halls and different clearings we're nearly done. So if we do home another rabbit, that's going to give us another favor card, which means we're going to have a look to see where we want to go with that. Home at least 1 rabbit in 4 different clearings. We've got 1 rabbit over here, 1 rabbit over here. If we were to build 2 buildings here, that would put us another rabbit over here, and therefore we just need to come over here and to put 1 rabbit whilst we get that favor token. So maybe having that 1 over there would be really good. So yeah, I think that's good. Let's let our sister have a go. Hopefully she's not going to take that favor card for us. She is going to travel 1 around the board. She is following us around, and she is going to place down a boathouse. We'll stick it over here because you never know when 2 houses together are going to be very beneficial. It's back to us, and we're now going to do that slide. I think that we're just going to do the slide, and we're going to do the build. We're going to take the freestone, we're going to take the wood, we're going to take the food. I just want to get this done. I don't want to mess it up. I want to get those resources freed for us to be able to build. We're going to put a standard town hall. We'll stick it down here out of the way. Again, there's no specifics of what we want to do. And the problem is we do want to put the rat there, but we do want to put the rat there because the rat is going to score us the points for the wood. But the rabbit would allow us to take the favor card, and the favor card could be worth a lot of points, and our sister may get rid of that for us. Oh, that is a risk. That's a real risk. But I think we have to do the rat because we've lined up all of our wood. So we're going to put that onto the town hall. That's going to give us 1 point. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wood. That's going to score us 7 more points. We are catching up with our sister. Finally, we're catching up. And then we're going to move Buttercup. Buttercup is going to get us 1 food, which is going to help us start refilling some of that resource. She's going to allow us to go on a walk. Now, I think that we want to put a windmill here and get a rabbit in that windmill. That is going to allow us to have our 3 rabbits in windmills, and it's also going to allow us to take another favor card, which is going to allow us to then work towards having 1 rabbit in 4 different clearings. By having the rabbit here, would have 1, 2, and 3, and I think that wouldn't be too bad. Where are we with things at the moment? We've got our rats out. We've got 5 rats out in 5 different clearings, which is great. We've got 2 points per wall banner. We don't really have any wall banners, so we'll just slide that across so I don't forget. That one's absolutely fine. 5 points per building type where you don't have at least 2. Well, we've got loads of town halls. We've got loads of windmills. We've got 2 boathouses. We've got 1 market. So it probably... Building a market would give her 4 and it would save us 5. So having a market somewhere would save us a point, but it's not a massive big thing. And then the less than 15 building, or fewer than 15, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we do need to get 5 more buildings out. So right now, 5 more buildings would be really, really beneficial for us. And windmills and town halls are the way to go with that. Although boat houses are fine because they're neutral because we're getting 3 points per boat house. And we do have a lot of wood. I don't think we're going to worry too much about the houses, but that's our turn. It is back to our sister. Hopefully this is going to trigger, which is really going to help us in a short while. She's going to take hero 5 and then build 1 house. She's going to take a house. Oh, let's put the house there, I guess, because that will keep those ones going. Let's put it there. Maybe something will come up that will say buy 3 houses, and that's going to help us. It's not really going to benefit us being over there anyway. Hero 5 is going to disappear. I'm sorry, I should have reset these. I'm getting very, very ahead of myself with some of this stuff. And we are then going to take hero 5 off. We're also going to take this one off, and then these are going to come across, and these are going to go, and these are going to come out. That is going to be the end of our sister's turn, and then it is going to be back over to us. And our board is now completely open, which isn't bad, but it's not also amazingly great news. We really want to build a windmill. We need to have food to build a windmill, and our food generating characters here, and we don't have any food icons on our board outside of that. So what we want, and we just need to build that windmill. I think that there's just going to be a few turns of slowness right now. Like, do we want to just get Puff off? I could just do a slide to get Puff back, but I mean, we're going to gain nothing for that. And if we're going to have to play other cards first, we might as well get those in play. So yeah, I think then let's bring back an old favorite. Let's bring Corin back, and Corrin is not going to do anything when played. So let's we could do that to do an attack, and we could, well, we've only got an attack of 13, so we could put Corrin here and generate a stone. Getting a stone is good because then we can use our wood and that stone to build boat houses, which are neutral points for us, rather than houses which are -5 for us. So I think that works well. It's not an amazing turn, but at least now if we slide to get Puff off, we've managed to gain the additional food icons through Corrin to be able to generate that extra resource. We can then use Corrin to spend a war banner to save the 2 points to do the build. So I think that whilst that wasn't fantastic, I think that was okay. One of the things that we've done is that we've just done like a lot of pushing over here to try and really make sure that we save ourselves, and as a result of that, we've kind of cleared our board. And whenever you clear your board, you have to build it back up, and you can't just try and get those big turns that you were getting previously. Back to our sister. What's she going to do? She is going to travel 3. She is going to go 1, 2, and 3, and she's going to build a town hall. This seems to be town hall capital over here, doesn't it? My goodness, I've never seen so many town halls in a single place. She's pushing the game, and I'm also mindful that this is over here, and this is not too far off from getting that last trophy. So, you know, by the time that this gets, what, 3 more attacks and a couple more buildings, this game is done, and we've got to be careful. So we're going to slide Puff off, which doesn't do anything. Then, do we want to fill the board up a bit more first? Maybe we do. No, because we want to stay where we are, so there's no point in us walking. We're not going to be able to do an attack. I mean, we could just build a boathouse. If we build a boathouse, we could home a frog. And if we home a frog, we could get another card that helps us generate food. So maybe we should do that, because at the moment we're just going to slide Puff off to then play Puff back and gain our 4 food and do the build. Whilst if instead we do a build, we can then get a card, and then we can use that card to try and generate some of that food. Although it's not going to generate enough, none of those are going to actually generate us the 4 food we need. But there's no particular rush. We're not in a rush to build this windmill. Like, we do want to do it, but we do want to come and get that favor token, don't we? We need to get up there and get that token, because if we don't get that token, everything we're working towards is... Oh no, we're going to get it from the rabbit. So yes, okay, let's do that then. Let's save ourselves. Let's put Thatch down. I'm going to put Thatch here, just in case we do need to do that extra slide. Because if we bring Puff off before we want to build, that's going to be problematic for us. Okay, so I think we are going to spend our 4 wood, and we're going to spend a stone. That's going to allow us to build a boathouse. We're going to build a boathouse over here because, again, that's giving you the ability to connect to 2 boathouses if we need to. Always worth just thinking about what could happen. And then we're going to put... Yeah, we're going to put the rabbit. We're going to put a rabbit there because, again... Yeah, we don't have to build a windmill here, do we? We just want to get 4 rabbits in 4 different clearings, and then we could come up here and build a windmill and put the other rabbit up there. So that's fine. We've got plenty of rabbits. We have loads of rabbits. So that's going to be 2 points. That's then going to allow us to take a voting card. That's going to allow us to home at least 1 rabbit in 4 different clearings. And I'm just going to put this one here. That should still fit on, hopefully. Fantastic. So now we're working towards that. So yeah, we don't need the windmill yet. We just want to work towards the windmill. So we want to get 2 more rabbits out. And that's the 2 points for doing that one. That is our bonus for doing that one. Yeah, I think that is the way to go for this. I think that that's actually going to be better for us right now. Okay, so let's get rid of this one. Let's slide these across, bring this one across, and we'll bring out 2 more. Recruit exactly 3 heroes. We are not going to be doing. Have 1 town hall that touches 3 windmills. Oh my goodness, this is so close over here. So close. 1 town hall touching 2. You'd think with all of the windmills and all of the town halls, my goodness, look at this. We just build loads of windmills up here and we could achieve that. But are we going to build 3 windmills up in that area and claim the town hall? Oh, there's just no way we're going to do that, is there? No, there's no way we're going to do that. Okay. But a man can dream, right? Okay, our sister is going to go. She's going to travel free. So she's going to come 1, 2, 3. She's saying hello. She's attacking for 7. So this is a curiosity. It hasn't happened yet. So she can't clear this one. This one is too big for her. So what she's going to do is she's going to move to the next clearing, and then she's going to take the 5. That's going to score her 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if she can, she's always going to clear something. Doesn't necessarily have to be where she is. That is going to push us down onto that track, and that's getting us really close. 2 buildings here, 2 clears, and the game is over. Okay, so what is our plan? Are we really going to try and build 3 windmills up there? Are we really going to try and do that? We could try and use this bonus to get the town hall and then 3 windmills. What have we built so far? We've built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 buildings. 3 windmills and a town hall would be our 15 buildings. If we can get up there and build 3 windmills and home a rabbit in one of them, I just don't see there being any way we're going to achieve that. But let's see, because we just don't have the ability to generate enough food. If we had taken another food generating character, but then maybe, oh, we could have done a free build, couldn't we? We didn't need to play Thatch, but we'll keep that. That's fine. We'll keep that for once we've generated all of our food. We could come here and get free food. So if we killed something, we could then try and use that to get free food. But then we want to keep our fight card because we do have... Oh, we've got a few fight cards now, don't we? And we do have... Yeah, maybe we want to do some fighting then. And we've got this out, which would be the stone. So if we were to move over to here, we could clear this one, gain the stone for it, gain free food for it. And then if she doesn't do another attack, we could then try and move up here and clear this one. Do we have the ability to do that? We kind of do. Okay, I think that's what we're going to do. So we're going to play Jin, our old stone converter, Jin. And we're going to put Jin here because we're going to get the stone. We can use that stone to convert if we want to. And Jin is going to allow us to do a walk and then an attack. So we're going to walk 2, which is only going to allow us to get to here because this is unfortunately in the way. That's then going to allow us to attack that, which is going to clear that off, which is going to give us 1 point. It is going to give us a stone, and then it's going to allow us to move this down, and that's going to give us 3 food. And maybe this is a mistake because of that trophy and our sister taking it from us, but what I'm thinking is that we need to get 12 food, and there's 3 food right there, and a point and a stone, so we can then use that stone to convert. So that was 4 food for that action effectively off our next slide, and I think that that is that's a really important thing for us to be doing right now. Okay, so that is us done. Ideally our sister is not going to attack. She is going to travel to us and then build a town hall. So she's going to move around to us. She can't build here, which means she's going to come over to here, and then she's going to build a town hall over here. Oh no. So I don't know if you've seen it, but this is where the game is really, really not in our favor, because 1 building here and 1 attack and the game ends. So we could move back and build here, claim the 8 points, and then she might end the game on her next turn, although she is going to rest, so we're going to get 2 more turns at least. Otherwise, we can hope that she moves away. We can move up there and try and build out our 3 windmills. But are we pushing too much? Are we going to push too much? But then we need those buildings. If we don't get 3 more buildings down, she's going to get that. And we need to cross this, and we're a long way from crossing this. But then if we got this, that would be 8 points. Building the building would be 9 points. That's a tricky one, because then that's going to bring us up to what, 52, but we're not going to cross this. I don't think this is going to happen, so I don't think there's any way for us to achieve that realistically. But I do think that we still need to have a rabbit in a 4th clearing. And the only way to do that is to move up there. So we're going to have to hope that she doesn't build here. We're going to have to hope that she moves away. Maybe she's going to come up to us. Yeah, I think that that's our way. So we've got 1, 2. We need to move 2 spaces and then we can start building up there. And we don't have the ability to walk, do we? So we're going to have to play a card to do that walk. We could put Buttercup in for a sliding walk, but I think once we're there, we're there. So I think that what we're going to do is we're going to put Alara back in, because Alara is going to allow us to walk 2 spaces, which now these are cleared is going to allow us to walk up to here. It's going to allow us to take that in a minute. She also will allow us to spend a stone to build. Oh my goodness, this is getting so tough now, because we could, if we now spend a stone, or no, we want to spend a war banner, because if the game ends, these are going to be worth more points. So we might as well spend a war banner onto Corrin, and then we can build our first windmill. Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's build up that windmill. That is then going to come over here. Let's place it onto the stone, because if we are going to get to do a slide, Jin is going to allow us to convert this back into food. And then, oh, the question is, what do we take? Do we put the rabbit out now? If we put the rabbit out now, it's going to give us a beehive that's not going to achieve anything. If we put a frog out, it is going to allow us to then take a card, which may not help us, but then the next frog will give us some food, and then the next frog will allow us to home the rabbit that we need to home. But ideally, maybe we want to home 2 rabbits, because the scoring bonus of the rabbit would give us 8 points for over here. So I think we're just going to play it safe. We've built the windmill. Let's place the rabbit in it. Let's get our beehive. We're probably not going to use it. Let's score 1 point. I think that we do need to be somewhat cautious at the moment, because the game could end any moment. And at least, if she does take that trophy, it is going to give us a food which will help us towards our goals. But we need to get Puff off now, don't we? And we need to be able to generate that food up. So yeah, okay, that's it. We are done. Our sister is going to rest. Unfortunately, that means for us, the final building is going to reveal the town hall, and she is going to score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points. That's going to bring her up to 60. So we are going to get to do this. I had not considered this at all, which means we could take that town hall. We should have taken that one. So we could take that one town hall that touches at least 3 windmills. Yeah, I think that card's back on, you know. I think that as much as it's a risk, I think that card's back on. It is going to be our turn. She's not ended the game yet. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to go for the town hall that touches 2 windmills. I'm going to stick that up there. I'm going to hope it plays out. I know that she's going to trigger this as she ends the game, because the trophies will give her the 5 points. This is going to happen. That means I can take that town hall. Then all I need to do is get 2 more windmills down on here. 2 more windmills. How are we going to do that? How are we going to generate those resources? We need to get Puff back. If we get Puff out, then play Puff back. That's going to generate us 1, 2, 3, 4 food. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's going to be... it's only going to be 4, which will be enough to build 1 out. We could try and put Buttercup down first, but I don't think that Buttercup's 1 on slide is going to be enough. So I think this turn, we are simply going to slide. We're going to bring Puff off to bring Puff back. We're going to bring Jin across, which is going to allow us to do the double conversion, which we had planned but forgotten about. So that is going to give us 2 foods. So maybe Buttercup's food would have been useful for us, but that's okay. We're bringing Thatch across, bringing Lara across, bringing Corrin across, and this is getting really tight, because our next slide allows us to do a build. If we were to have a stone, we could spend a stone to do a build as well, so we could do a double build. We just need the resources to be able to do it. So we are getting really, really close, but I think our sister is going to start double heroes for us. That is fantastic. That is going to save us another turn. So these heroes are going to come off. These are going to also come off. This is going to slide across, and these are also now going to come out. We should also reset the favor cards. At this point, it doesn't matter too much, because we have taken all of the favor cards we've got, but just for the fact I can show you a couple more, they are coming out. So now it's over to us, and things are starting to get interesting. So I think at this point, we are just going to play Puff, and we're going to put Puff over here. So that is going to generate us 1, 2, 3, 4 food. So that's going to bring us up to 6 food. And if we can get 2 more food and a stone, then we are going to be in a point where we can do our windmill building, and we could get 2 food from doing the frog. So maybe we should have just done the frog first. Oh my goodness, this is really tight. We are really going to be pushing it at this point, but that is going to be our turn. Nice, simple, get that food out, back to our sister. Is she going to build? Is she going to attack? She is going to do a double attack of 4. Where's she going to end up? We don't want her ending up with us. She is going to do this one, which is going to be a 4 that's going to score her 1, 2, 3 points. Then she is going to look for another 4. Are there any other 4s on the board? We've got a 13, a 5, and a 5. So she can't do anything with her second attack. So that has worked out perfectly for us. This is going to go down. She's going to take a trophy. We're going to take that one that's going to get us 1 more of our food. We don't care about this wood. We just want 1 more food. If we place Buttercup down, we would have got it. She's going to score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. We now get to home an additional person. We are going to home our frog over here. I think that's the way to go, because whilst I would love to home the rabbit, and that would score us 8 points, if we can be greedy, if we can get 2 more windmills down, and those 2 windmills allow us to get those 2 frogs out, that frog will allow us to home the other rabbit, which we could then put over here to score an additional 3, 4, 5 points or something along those lines. So we're going all in at this point. We are going to be greedy. That is going to allow us to take a card. Is there any cards that are going to help? Puck would have been fantastic for gathering food, but right now is not the card that we want. Quar is going to be attacking and gathering some walking for us. I don't think right now anything that's going to help too much. Possibly Vin, because Vin would allow us to do a larger attack. So I'm going to bring these across. We're going to bring out 2 more. And we are now really, really just hoping that this is going to play out. Our sister is done. It's over to us. We've got the resources to do 1 build. And yes, we just need a stone. Where can we get a stone from? We are so close, but let's reset. We are. She's moved away from this area as well, which means that she is less likely. Oh my goodness, I'm just getting so ahead. Let's get these dangerous areas reset and back out. She is less likely to end the game on her turn, which means there is a good chance we can do this. Because if we do the build, we home the frog, which gives us the resources to then be able to do that next build for that second windmill. And I think there's a chance that we could do this. I think that the gamble was going to have paid off. Early on, she stole some of those trophies from us. She really, really pushed against us. But now I think we're at a point where maybe a bit of the luck's coming back our way. Maybe that double attack and that double hero was all that we needed to balance out. And these cards are in here because they're always going to be coming through. So it's our turn. So if we slide, we could do the build. Is that what we want to do? What I'm thinking, though, is it's already in play. What we could do. Okay, I think we can do it next turn, because we can use the gather stone to generate the extra stone. So I could play a card to just generate that stone right now. And then, is there anything that we should do? Maybe this is going to be a better way of doing this. So let's play Buttercup. Play Buttercup into the stone section, because then when we do our slide, we'll generate another food as well, which will help. At this point, I don't think we really care about beehives. That seems absurd, but we're going to do that to generate our stone. We're then going to use that stone to do the build. We're going to use the build to spend the 4 food to build the windmill. I hadn't checked if we had enough windmills. We are getting close to running out of windmills, but I am going to place the windmill down. Placing the windmill is going to allow us to home the frog. Homing the frog is going to give us 2 points, and that's going to generate us 2 more food, which is fantastic. That is going to be our turn done. It's back to our sister. Is she going to move to here and end the game? She's not. She's going to do a voting too. So favor card 2. She's going to take this one out from us, unfortunately. But at this point, again, we're only doing this because I want to keep showing you how it's going to work. She's going to do an attack of 5. These ones are both 4s. Let's take the green one. I don't think it's going to matter too much at this point for us, but we're going to move that down. She's going to score 1, 2, 3 points. It's going to be the end of her turn. We're going to reset these I don't think that she's going to get to the 84 points trigger, which means I don't think we're going to get that free action, which is a shame. Our points during the game have been quite low. The other 3 points per copy of this card has come out. They would have been worth 27 points, but that's the way it goes. She is not going to get up to here. I don't think we're going to get up to there either. We are really pushing behind, but at this point, we're just going to do the slide. Let's get the slide done. That's going to allow us to build. That's going to allow us to spend the other 4 food. Spending the other 4 food allows us to place the windmill. We might as well place it on the beehive because it's always fun just to get a beehive for free at the end of the game, and that's going to allow us to home something. We do need to home a rabbit in a windmill, but what I'm thinking is if we home this frog into this windmill, that is then going to score us 2 points for doing so. That's going to unlock the bonus that's going to allow us to home something else, and then we can take our rabbit, because we've already got a rabbit in this clearing, and we can home this rabbit in another clearing on a windmill, and we might as well put it over in this one here, because that is going to score us 2 points, 2 different types of buildings there. And that is then going to trigger the bonus for that rabbit, which is 2 points per your largest neighborhood. Our largest neighborhood is 5. There are 5 things there. That is going to score us 10 points. And somehow, I hope we've achieved all of our favorite cards. We will come to that in a minute. That is going to be the first part of that slide. We were doing a slide. This is going to come across. Corin is going to generate us 1 wood, which is fantastic. But I think the real savior has been spending these war banners. Puff is going to go across. It does nothing. Buttercup is going to come across, generate us a food, and then allows us to walk. But we're not going anywhere because we want to build into this space. We've just got our build card back, so that's fine. Over to our sister. What's she going to do? She's going to do hero free and then a market. Oh my goodness, and you know what she has just gone and done? She can't build where she is. She can't build there. She's going to come over here. She's going to build that market, and she is going to end the game. I'm just going to reset these anyway, just because it's always nice to show you some more cards. But oh my goodness, she got there just as we finish that off, and unfortunately that means she is going to take the 8-point token, which brings her to 79, and it is a good job we didn't try to get more trophies than her, because she just, I don't know. I think that she's got this, but we will see how things score up. And that's the end of the game. It ends immediately. She was the last player, so we are going to score up. Let's start with scoring up our cards, because I think that is going to be a little bit more interesting. So have 1 town hall that touches at least 3 windmills, and we do have a town hall that touches 3 windmills, so we are going to score that one. Home at least 1 rabbit in 4 different clearings. We've got a rabbit, a rabbit, a rabbit, and a rabbit, so we are going to score that one. Have at least 1 town hall in 3 different clearings. 1, 2, 3, and 4, so we have achieved that one. These are some big scoring points. We'll come back to the boathouse. Home at least 3 rabbits in windmills. 1 rabbit, 2 rabbits, 3 rabbits, 4 rabbits in windmills, so that's absolutely fantastic. Home exactly 3 owls. We've homed 3 owls because we've got 2 left. Home at least 3 owls in town halls. 1, 2, and 3. Have 1 windmill that touches 2 windmills. That is amazing scoring from that. So what have we got boathouse wise? We've got 1 boathouse over here, 1 boathouse over there, and 1 boathouse over there. So we've got 3 boathouses. So we've got 9, 16, 23, 30, 40, 50, 60, 72 points. Let's just check that one more time. 9, 16, 26, 33, 40, 50, 60, 72 points. We are on 59. That puts us on to 131 points, I believe. I hate doing maths live on these things, but hopefully we've got that correct. And now it's time to see what our sister's done. We just managed to get a good number of points on those last ones. She's going to get 2 points per war banner. We're going to give her 2 points. She's going to get 5 points per building type where we do not have at least 2 of that building. Well, we built no houses, but we've got 2 windmills, we've got 2 town halls, we've got 2 boathouses, we've got 1 market. So she's going to score 10 points from that. Maybe we should have built that other market 15 buildings. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. She scores nothing. 5 points per clearing where we don't have a rat. We've got them in 1. We've got them in 2, 3, 4, and 5. That means she gets those 5 points. 5 points per house. We have built no houses. 4 points per market. We have built 1 market. I have a feeling we have done very, very well. 3 points per boathouse. We've got 3 boathouses. She's going to score 9 points. 2 points per windmill. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 windmills. That is going to score her 14 points. It is getting close. 1 point per town hall. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 town halls. Wow. Oh, 128 points versus 131 points. We are the victors by me probably moving a token 1 space too many at some point. 131 versus 128. And that is the solo mode of Emberleaf. This has been the hard difficulty, the middle one of 3. The easier and medium ones, obviously, there's a lot less going on and much easier to keep track of. And with the harder ones, they obviously become very, very challenging. The ultimate difficulty is designed for people who really, really want to punish themselves. But you can see the journey early on. She was really far ahead. She keeps that consistent amount of points. She came in, she stole some of those trophies from us. She came and built into some of those clearings where we really didn't want her to. We had to gamble with that windmill location early on. Did we want to build, or were we safe leaving it for a little while? What about this when we talked about the town halls with the houses, and early on we didn't get to take that card? She came in and she sniped some of that stuff from us. She also managed to trigger trophies from attacking, and she really pushed down that path, and her favor cards really steered our direction. We weren't going to do fighting. We couldn't, because she was going to get too many points and it wasn't worth the effort. But then Corin came along, allowing us to convert those into builds, and maybe we could have got that other card to convert them into food as well and gotten that combo going. But we stood still. We managed to build. We pushed for that windmill at the end. Maybe we should have just closed off at the beginning over here with that last clearing. You know, we could have just come here and built 1, but we were greedy and we pushed over. And luckily she wasn't placed to be able to come back and take those off us. And this is what I love about the solo mode of Emberleaf. You never quite know what's going to happen, but despite how hard you try, how well you play, your sister is always going to be just ahead or just behind you and putting on that pressure. And her decisions, just like playing against another human player, are really going to impact what you're doing and how much risk you're willing to take over getting those big moves. This has been the solo mode of Emberleaf. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. If you've got any questions at all, please feel free to ask them in the comments below. And until next time, keep on adventuring.